All right, for this first trade, it's possible I could have been too early. I did notice on the 4-hour chart, however, there were some things that I liked. News came out, price came all the way back to this fair value gap, and I'm hoping that it's a reversal where it bounces off this fair value gap and uses it as support. That was, and then it also pulled back to 50% of this move here into a more of a equilibrium kind of thing right here. It actually ticked it right on the button. So there's two reasons to look at this as a possible entry. Here on the 15-minute chart, there was a fair value gap created right here, and it tapped into it. That's probably the time I should have gotten into it. Here now, after it comes up, it creates a fair value gap on the 5-minute chart. Here's the lower entry area that was the best price. And so what did I do is I got in this after this candle tested the 5-minute value and closed higher. But now it's coming back down to test my nerves. I got my stop loss underneath the candle. It's underneath the fair value gap candle. And, if it stops me out, it stops me out. I'm still learning. And I'll just wait patiently for the rest of the day to consider another trade and analyze what I could have done better. Okay, it stopped me out before going back up. Bell's about to ring. I think I had my stop as low as I could take it, underneath the candle, underneath the FVG, quite lovely. It's so if it's going to stop me out, it's going to have to come down there, and it just seems to be struggling in this area. It might inverse and go back down lower, so you got to get out when you got to get out. I almost revenge traded. I almost tried to jump back in this thing, and I caught myself, so that's a good thing. So let's not do that. Let's wait for a good setup. Don't just jump in because I'm mad or emotional. So trade 1 was a loss. Let's wait patiently for another opportunity. All right, trade 2 was profitable. I made back everything that I lost, but it was a risky trade. I mean, on the 15-minute chart, I'm looking at support down here. It came right into these pintails where an old fair value gap was respected on the 15-minute chart. So I just jumped in it and I wrote it up as high as I could with the idea of at least making back what I made. It was risky and it might have been revenge trading, but it was an educated move. Might have had some revenge, common denominator mixed in with it, but it seemed reasonable right here to take that trade. So it wasn't just revenge trading. It was revenge trading possibly based on valid reasoning and logic. So I did take that trade, and looks like it went up just enough for me to make back what I lost. But now I'm going to sit on my hands and wait for a real good A-plus trade to take place. Okay, third trade was a big loss. I wanted to buy on the break of some of these pivots, price action, and it almost worked. It has worked. It does work from time to time, but it looks like we're clearly going down to the bottom, and the best place to do this is going to be this pivot down here. But it could go all the way down and keep going down. Let's see what we got on the daily chart here. There's a red candle coming down. If it sweeps yesterday's low, I think that's probably what we should take a look at. Maybe yesterday's low somewhere around 17,786, 17,786. That's that one right there. Yep, right there. That'll be the low. So it's possible it can come down here to this low right here and sweep that. If it does, I'll be interested in trying it one more time to turtle soup it by once it gets the stop losses in that area. But it could keep going down for sure. It could definitely keep going down. But I'll give it one more shot right there. All right, let's see what happens when it comes down all the way down to this pivot. It's almost there now. So let's take a look at that. All right, I entered the fourth trade right under this yesterday's low. It's pierced it, and it's still under the yesterday's low, but my stop is down at this pivot here, quite a bit underneath it in case it sweeps that one. We'll see if we can get a bounce on this a little bit here from yesterday's low. Let's see what happens here. We might break even here shortly on this trade and see if we can get it to ride up a little bit here. Okay, definitely stopped out of that trade as well. I am definitely feeling like I'm revenge trading at the moment. In another trade, to see if I can get this thing to bounce up, and looking for it to sweep this low right here. But I've entered the trade before that low because it broke this low, and it looks like I'm not taking rational trades at the moment. So I definitely need to, if this one doesn't work, step back and analyze what I'm doing, stop trading for the day. If it does work, I probably should still stop trading for the day, because these are not good habits. It's not a good habit to keep taking trades every time I'm stopped out on the next low down. That's not a good strategy. So I definitely need to figure out some psychology and emotional control on this one right here and analyze what's going on here. It may work. The problem is, if it does work, I'll think I can do it again next time. And I just don't want to have a strategy or trade setup like this. It's too risky, and it's not really, I don't think it's the best trade setup for me. So I'm in the 5th trade. And if this does not work, I will stop trading for. I am definitely trading a lot, but I'm trying a lot of interesting ideas. As you can see here, yesterday's low, as after it broke down, consolidated and pushed, came back up, tried to get back over up there, and it failed, creating an inverse fair value gap, which I saw it struggle here. And when it came back up and started to turn red on this one, I shorted with my stop right above that area. So we got, over a 1-to-1 return on that. As it get down profitable, I just go ahead and took profits, because I'm still learning these concepts, and I'm not sure, if I should even be taking a trade. But it looks like it wants to short. Again, it took a fair value gap and inversed it to the downside instead of using it for a bullish run at a level of yesterday's low. Okay, so that seems to be an intelligent decision. I did take the 1-to-1 profit right away. I'm not trying to hold it forever, but that was the 6th trade. And I'm not even sure if I recorded all these trades on this video or not. I am taking a lot of trades today. All right, so yeah, I would have been stopped out. My stop was right over the top of the entry candle, that red one. I saw it turning red, got in. You can see the risk reward on it. But if I had not taken profits, I would have either broke even, because I would have moved my stop down to break entry. I would have either broke even when it came back up, or I would have been stopped out for a loss if I had left it there. All right, so this quick scalping trade was all that was. All right, let's take a look at trade 7. We have a fair value gap after displacement. It looks like displacement to me. I don't know. Break of structure back over the top of yesterday's low, but then now it's fallen back below it, which is aggravating. See, I thought we were good to clear. It started to consolidate above it. And now it's closing back below on the 1-minute chart, so that's not good. I think this is an order block down here, where the candle swept the low and then created a fair value gap. And that fair value gap on this, is it 5-minute chart here, is right here. Got a lot of fair value gaps on this move up. This is the 1-minute chart, isn't it? Yep, the 1-minute chart. So the lowest one back down to OTE is this one here, and that's right at the order block. I got my stop loss down at the bottom of this order block. If that's not really an order block, it will come and stop me out. So we'll see. I do believe this is a change of structure. I'm not sure if I'm right about that. So trade 7 is in the makes, and I'm going to let's see if it works out. Trade 7. I don't know why I took that on the breakout. The fair value gap that I was using on the 1-minute chart was high of the range. It didn't even pull back to discount. You got 3 different fair value gaps here on this, and apparently the best one is down here where the order block first created the fair value gap. I took a trade off of the first one, and then I waited for the breakout. I guess I liked the fact that it was bouncing off yesterday's low, came back over the top of yesterday's low and consolidated. Hopefully this bounce back down is a temporary bounce back off of it again. It'll keep going back up. All right. So there is a fair value gap that it's hitting here on the 5-minute chart. And this would have been a better entry. So that's the 5-minute chart. 15-minute chart. Don't really have a whole lot here on the 15-minute chart. So let's go back to the 1-minute chart and see. Yeah, it's not quite 50% pullback. So it is bouncing off this pivot here, bouncing off yesterday's low where it crashed down and had some resistance. And now hopefully it's trying to get back over the top of that. That'd be great if it did, because then this trade would work out. So we'll see. Trade 7 underway. All right, I decided to take the profits on that last and final trade, at least so far anyway, all the way up here. And we should have probably stayed in it longer, but I didn't. So the 7th trade is done. We're down at least $24. It was a lot more than that. Right now I just need to look for A+ setups. All these trades has been nothing but me taking risky trades that are not in my playbook, with a revenge attitude. And so we get lucky sometimes, and that's a bad habit. So there you go. Bad habits, bad trades, bad day. I'm lucky I'm not down more than I am, but there's a lot of stuff I got to change.